Okay, we now discuss about bond development length, hooks, and splicing of reinforcement. Because of the bond between the steel reinforcement and that of the concrete, there will be bond stress due to the mechanical interlock of the reinforcement ribs and that of the surrounding concrete. Okay, so the bond stress comes from the mechanical interlock between these two different materials. Okay, now development length is the embedment length of the reinforcement to the concrete, such that this length will enable the reinforcement to reach the full tensile strength, right? Now in this figure, we see the two materials, concrete and reinforcing bar. In figure B, this is a situation in which there is no bond between the reinforcement and that of the concrete. Probably the reinforcement used in here is that of plate reinforcement without ribs. So as a consequence of that, the reinforcement simply slides to the surrounding concrete, rendering the reinforcement not to carry tensile forces. Well, it could carry some tensile forces to a negligible extent only. Okay. Now in figure C and D, these are the forces carried by concrete and steel respectively. In C, we have a compressive forces as carried by the concrete, while the reinforcement carries tensile forces. In this figure, the concept of development length is highlighted. What we have in here is a cantilever beam with this support condition, such that the moment is something like this. Okay, and that the maximum moment is situated here. Now past this point, theoretically there is no moment. Okay, that theoretically the need of reinforcement past this point is no longer required. Okay, however, if we do that, obviously the beam will fail. Hence, the need to extend this longitudinal reinforcement is a must. Okay, so that the beam will not fail. Okay, and this length here is the development length, in this case in the form of a hook. Okay, we are doing this if, for instance, the length here is not enough to develop the full tensile strength of the reinforcement. Okay, so we'll have it projected it further in this 90-degree hook, or probably a 180-degree hook. Okay, now in this section of the NSCP are formulas or expression to determine the development length of deformed bars or wires in tension. Okay, so the development length of bars in tension shall be the greater of A and B. In A, the development length is calculated in accordance to this section, okay, which is actually this, as well as this section. which is actually this. So we will compute the development length of deformed bars in tension by this section and this section. Okay. So if we have a situation, for example, in which we have a 25 mm diameter bar, longitudinal bar or larger, and that, for instance, the spacing requirements and cover requirements satisfies this condition, then we'll determine the development length from this expression. So LD will be equal to this, okay, wherein Fy is the yield strength of the reinforcement, psi sub t and psi sub e will be discussed later, and these are actually factors. Okay, psi sub t is a casting factor, okay, and psi sub e is the coating factor, is the reinforcement coated with some coating, okay, or no coating at all, whereas lambda is the factor pertaining to the concrete used. Is it normal weight concrete or lightweight concrete? Okay. Now, aside from this computation, which is from this section, we are to compare this with the length 300 mm. So whichever is greater between all the computed values will be the one taken as the development length. Okay. As to this condition, spacing and cover condition, this is further explained or visualized in this figure. Okay. Now, this figure pertains to splitting of concrete along reinforcement, because the failure in beams happen or occur generally by means of splitting. Okay, because bond failure could occur as either splitting or pull out. Okay. However, for beam scenarios such as the one we are discussing here, the bond failure is in the manner of splitting. It's either splitting in the vertical direction, as we see here in A, or horizontal direction, as we see in B. Okay. Okay. This is the other computation or formula in determining the development length of deformed bars in tension. This is actually much more detailed. Okay. Aside from the usual factor psi t and psi e, we also have psi s. Okay. As said a while ago, psi e is about the coating. Okay. It is equal to 1.5 if this condition is satisfied. Okay. We have this 3 dB and 6 dB. For all other conditions, with coating, it is equal to 1.2. If there is no coating at all, then this is equal to 1. Now, psi sub s pertains to the factor with regards to the size of the reinforcement to be developed. It is equal to 1 for 25 mm diameter and larger bars, and 0.80 for 20 mm or smaller. Okay. Whereas psi sub t, as mentioned a while ago, is about the casting position. This is equal to 1.3 for situation in which there is more than 300 mm of fresh concrete placed below horizontal reinforcement. Okay. So if, for instance, we have this scenario, okay, in which these are the reinforcement to be developed, okay, and that there is a depth of more than 300 mm, say 350 mm, okay, then this condition is satisfied. Okay. Fresh concrete placed below horizontal. Okay. So if this is satisfied, the factor is equal to 1.3. Okay. Contrary, of course, to a situation in which we have this reinforcement to be developed. Okay. As we see, the depth of concrete here is less than 300, and so our casting position factor is equal to 1 for this case. Okay. In here it is 1.3. We also have CB, KTR in this expression. Well, CB can be computed from item A and B. Item A is the distance from center of the bar to the nearest concrete surface. Okay. So for instance, we have this cross section. Okay, so CB will be computed based on in letter A, this distance, as well as this distance. Okay. While in B, it will be this distance. Okay. Half of this distance actually. If, for example, this is X, then B is X divided by 2. Okay. So whichever is lesser, as the code says, will be the one to be used as CB. Okay. Actually, this has something to do with ATR. Well, ATR is the total cross-sectional area of transverse reinforcement within the spacing S that crosses the potential plane of splitting. Okay. So how do we know the potential plane of splitting? Will it be in this manner, vertical or horizontal? We can decide the potential plane of splitting by whichever is lesser between the two values of CB. Okay. If, for instance, the lesser value is X, okay, x over 2 rather, x over 2. The lesser value between a and b is, say, x over 2. Okay? Meaning, the potential plane of splitting would be or would occur in this horizontal manner. Okay? Because x over 2 is lesser than that of the concrete cover. Hence, ATR will be the cross-sectional area of this leg of the reinforcement, transverse reinforcement. Okay? Because with this type of splitting, horizontal, it tends to cut this leg of transverse reinforcement, the two legs actually. Okay? Whereas, if the splitting happens in this manner, okay, vertical, it tends to cut this area of transverse reinforcement, which is only a single cross section, right? Now, in this formula for KTR, S is the spacing and N is the number of bars to be developed. Okay, in this case, we have 2 longitudinal bars to be developed, and the spacing is the spacing of the transverse reinforcement. Okay. Also, this quantity as given in the code should not exceed 2.5. So we should always check on this. Okay. In this tabulation regarding the modification factors, we also have to check the product between these factors T and E, that they should not exceed 1.7. Okay. For hooks in tension, the development length LDH should be computed based on this formula, this quantity, as well as this length, whichever is greatest or greater between A to C. Okay. Also, it was specified in the code that the factors psi C, psi R can be taken as 1 for simplicity and for conservativity. Okay, here we can take this as conservatively equal to 1. Okay. After all, the other factors is lesser than 1. Okay, take note also of this provision in the code, that the first tie or stirrup shall enclose the bent portion of the hook within 2 dB of the outside of the bend. Okay, as seen in here. Okay, other provisions of the code is illustrated in this figure. Now, the development length of deformed bars in compression should be computed from whichever is greater between A and B, wherein A shall be calculated based on this section, which is actually this formula. Okay, we are to compare this formula with 200 mm. So whichever is greater will be the one to be the development length for compression bars. Okay. Now for development length of individual bars within a bundle, either in tension or compression, the individual bar length must be increased by 20% if we have a 3-bar bundle, or 33% in cases of 4-bar bundles. Now this expression pertains to a situation in which there will be reduction of development length, for the reason that the required area or the provided steel reinforcement is greater than that of the required area. All right? So for instance, the required area steel reinforcement is 1,200 mm squared, and that of the provided, the actual implemented for the cross section is say 1,300 mm squared. Okay, so we will multiply whatever is the value in here to the computed development length. As we see, the computed value in here is less than 1. So as a consequence, the development length will be reduced. Okay, and here we have standard hooks, seismic hooks, cross ties, and minimum inside bend diameters. So these are provisions as to recommendations of bends for standard hooks, be it 90 degrees or 180-degree bend. Okay, it was highlighted also in the code that hooks are considered ineffective for compression bars for development length purposes. Okay, so it is not recommended to use hooks as development length methodology if such reinforcement, such bar is in compression. Okay, the determination of lap splice lengths for deformed bars in tension is calculated based on this table, okay, which is actually this table here, and that LD shall be in accordance with this section. Okay, this section here. Okay, if Fy is equal to or less than 420, it can be computed. Development length can be computed through this expression. If it is greater than 420, we'll have this expression. Okay, if for whatever reason Fc prime is less than 21 megapascal, then the length of lap shall be increased by 1/3. Well, that makes sense because the bond strength is highly dependent on the compressive strength of the concrete. Okay, in situations in which bars of different sizes are to be lapped in compression, we will determine the splice length as either the greater of the development length in compression of the larger bar, okay, as calculated in this section 425491. Okay, here for the lap splice length of the smaller bar as calculated in this section, okay, this section here, okay.